Bob's Bodega, where laughter is always in stock. Bob Patterson, 72, had been retired for exactly 3 years, 4 months, and 2 days. Not that he was counting, of course. His wife, Linda, reminded him every week, "You've done nothing productive since retirement except talk to the coffee maker." Bob didn't take offense. In fact, the coffee maker was the only thing that listened to his stories every morning and never talked back. After a year of endless relaxing, Bob came to a startling conclusion. Doing nothing was somehow more exhausting than working. He used to walk 5 miles a day as a mailman. Now, he sat on his porch and stared at the same squirrel, whom he named Jerry, wondering if it was the same one from yesterday. One day, while laying out sunflower seeds for Jerry, he overheard some neighborhood kids talking about an old abandoned corner store down the block. "I wish someone would open that place again," one kid said. "I'd buy candy every day." Bob froze. His heart raced. Could have been the coffee, or maybe the spark of an idea. That night, he tossed and turned on his recliner before blurting out, "Linda, I'm reopening the corner store." "Great," she replied, not looking up from her crime drama. "What are you gonna sell? Toilet paper and dad jokes?" A month later, with money from their someday cross-country retirement trip fund, which they never took, Bob leased a little shop and began scrubbing it clean. He wasn't just going to sell groceries, no, he wanted to sell laughter. Shire, store name, Bob's Bodega, where you buy milk and a smile. Shelves were stocked with basics, milk, bread, eggs, and by popular request, mountains of toilet paper. But the real twist was in the packaging. Every item came with a little joke. Examples on cereal boxes. Why don't cereals talk? Because they might get milked for information. On paper towels. Use these to wipe away tears, whether from spicy food or rewatching Titanic for the 14th time. By the register sat a box labeled, "Free candy if you can make it." Me laughed. At first only kids came in, for the candy of course, but soon grown-ups started dropping by. Not always to buy something, but to tell a joke, hear one, or just sit with Bob and sip his free coffee. A retired nurse, 68, shared a story about slipping in a hospital bathroom and getting stuck in an accidental yoga pose. A 75-year-old former teacher brought in his ukulele and played Twist and Shout very slowly. Bob called them untapped performers, and his bodega was their stage. Linda, once skeptical of Bob's 17th ridiculous idea, became the star of the shop's Friday Funny Read Aloud, where she dramatically read jokes from old comedy books. Her serious delivery of silly jokes somehow made them even funnier. One day, a young man walked in, bought a chocolate bar, and stood quietly by the counter. "Got a joke for me?" Bob asked, holding out the candy box. "No," the young man. "I'll reply. I just wanted to say thank you. You don't know me, but last week I was having a really hard time. A friend told me to come here and tell a joke. I laughed for the first time in weeks. I'm doing better now." Bob didn't say much. He just nodded and slipped 2 more chocolate bars into the guy's bag. 3 years later, Bob's Bodega was featured on the local news under the headline, "The grocery store that heals with humor." Bob was interviewed wearing an apron. That read, "CEO, Chief Entertainment Officer. What's your secret, Mr. Patterson?" the reporter asked. He winked and replied, "Selling expired milk is a crime, but laughing every day. That never gets old." And so, from a retired man who used to talk to his coffee maker, Bob became the heart of a small community, a place where older folks, younger folks, and even a few leashed dogs could stop in, grab a loaf of bread, and walk out with a reason to smile.